Blimey, I'm not that late, am I? What do we do in terms of saying hello? Let's just go in. Oh, too soon for that. Nope. Hello there. So, book, check. And blind date, check. What are you waiting for?
I am waiting for you.
Good.
Simon, you've not really done a straight rom-com before, so why this and why now?
Initially, it was just because of where it was shooting. Naira Park, who's the producer of the film and of Spaced and Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and Paul and everything I've ever done with Big Talk Productions, gave me the script on the set of The World's End and just sort of said, "Oh, read this. It's really good." And the fact that it was shooting here in London was initially the thing. I thought, yeah, I'm going to do this whatever because it means I can stay with my family. It just happened to be a brilliant read and a very sort of positive and inventive female voice, which I thought was great, and I really wanted to get behind it. I think Tess is an amazing writer, and I think there are far few female writers being given a voice in the film industry at the moment. So that also felt like something that I wanted to be part of.
It's great also because London is an amazing tapestry to kind of host this kind of movie in, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, in sort of romantic comedy terms, I love the fact that Tess set some of it on the South Bank, which is what we've seen in Four Weddings and a Funeral and Truly Madly Deeply. It's a very iconic part of London. It's a very iconic part of romantic London. So it felt like such an embracing of this city and its sort of romantic potential.
And on sunny days.
I know. I can't remember when we shot in January, so it's amazing that we got sunny days down there, to be honest. But yeah, it certainly makes London look lovely.
Now, Tess says that Tess, who wrote the movie, says this is a bit like her life. It's kind of a reflection of that. So, how much of your character is kind of drawing from your own experience as a man who once dated?
I don't know. I tried to draw on my own sort of emotional kind of investment in previous relationships. I've been married for 10 years, so I've not been dating. I don't think I ever dated as such. It's a bit of a foreign concept to me, but I tried to put as much honesty into Jack as possible. He's a bit of a wounded soldier, you know. He's kind of about to be divorced, and he's clearly looking for love in. Well, he is in the kind of the wrong place. You know, he's going for a younger woman, and he's a bit pathetic in that respect. He's pretending to be someone else as much as Nancy is. You know?
What kind of nutter pretends to be someone else's blind date?
At 6Tribes, we have different groups of people who take part in various different things, and one of our tribes is Kung Foodies, people who love food. So, bearing in mind this is about dating, what is the worst food to eat on a date? Because you guys eat Mexican in this, among other things.
Yes.
That's quite sloppy.
Yeah, probably. I would say probably spaghetti, pasta. Although, unless it can lead to the Lady and the Tramp moment, in which case it becomes the most romantic food.
Although first date, though, that would be quite awkward.
Yeah, I think, yeah, absolutely. It would lead to, unless there was sort of extraordinary sexual tension between you, if it wasn't going that well, it would be terrible. But yeah, anything that involves you having to kind of like wipe your mouth or get stuff on your shirt is probably going to be a slightly anti-datey.
I think also trying not to eat in front of anybody on a first date is always a good thing, because if someone you're dating suddenly, he or she is a massive pig and shovels it in, that's never a good look.
Unless you're into massive pigs.
That is true. I'm sure there is. We create massive
Different
pig
strokes for
tribe
different
do
folks.
that. Cineasts tribe, movie fans. Rom-coms do tend to get a bit of a hard time, but is there a rom-com that you are absolutely not ashamed to love? I'm happy to say I've watched Love Actually more times than is allowable for a man.
Yeah, there's plenty, and I this sort of weird kind of thing that keeps being sort of said about rom-coms are despised. I don't think it's that. I think they've kind of late despised themselves a bit and tried to sort of undermine them, or they've tried to ape better rom-coms, you know, iterations of the same thing, which just hasn't worked. I think Crazy Stupid Love is a superb example of a modern rom-com which is very, very good. And not just because, you know, people mistake rom-coms for being schmaltzy or making you dewy-eyed. That's not necessarily what should be the driving force behind a romantic comedy. It should be truth, you know, the weird kind of dances that we enact with the opposite sex or the same sex or whoever we're in love with. You know, that's what the joy of the rom-com is.
And finally, being wrapped up, so finally, Acoustica's tribe, mixtapes and music are great mechanics in rom-coms. Mm-hmm. People want to know, does your character use one to woo? And when was the last time you made a mixtape?
I don't think Jack does. I think he tries to bond with music a little bit, but gets it completely wrong. The last time I made a mixtape, you just don't make them anymore. You drag and drop things. You make playlists now. And I made a playlist very recently. I made a playlist to accompany me on my snowboarding holiday, which was called Sideways 15, and it had about 150 banging tunes on.
I met a man today. For the first time in ages, I put myself out there. And I took a chance. Blah, 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 the end.